We're live. What's up, world? It's your boy, Coach EV, aka EV the Geeker, and welcome to a late night edition of Talking Hoops in the Sip. I got my man Talante Weber in the building. Here is late. Man, we had the state championship. Shoes might come on. We might have Blake Levine from WJTV. He may come on. Matter of fact, you're welcome. Whomever is welcome. What up, Talante?
What's up with you, man?
Man, you gotta speak up, man. You always got your vibe down like you in just chill mode, dog. This ain't no
Hey, this is late night. You know what I'm saying? We usually
yeah, you had like me and you in Netflix and chill though. We ain't in Netflix and chill though. Hey, what's up? Like, no, dog, we hey man, it was what an incredible day today. I'm gonna start with get a guys a little chance to come on. I'm gonna start with the girls. You watched them all today. Um, let me see. Look at these. So you got our see tonight. Can you see this? These are our little.
Oh, that's the program. See, look, you ahead of me because I be tweeting. You know what I'm saying? I don't be knowing some of the names. I'm just lost. You know what I'm saying? So I got to tweet out the number.
Yeah. So we had the 2A girls semifinals today. New site. Just you're welcome whoever is welcome. They just destroyed the New Lady Tigers today. It was a blowout. Just too much. I got there a little late, so I didn't see all of it. I just know that they got beat. I got a chance to see young lady number 21, Jalea Hickman. She's going to be a part of our showcase. She's actually going to Jackson State, 5'11", really good player. Got to see her again. Newton, just 2 years removed, was a state champion. And so they won't be able to get back there this time. And then Calhoun City, they played Union game. They won 44-29. Really good game. It was probably a 4 to 6 point game all the time. First time I got a chance to see Quay Bailey, the 6'1" senior. She missed a lot of layups. Madison Buckley of Union, the 5'10" junior, did a good job on her. But I saw the potential in Quay Bailey. She's definitely a D1 athlete. She's going to Northeast. She's going to be really good. Like, I don't understand why a Mississippi Valley or Alcorn wasn't all over her and just did everything they could to get her, because she runs like a deer. Although, like I said, she had some trouble finishing the day, but, Buckley did a good job on her. And then the two twins from Union were really good, Kamaya and Kiera Russell. I got a chance to see them. They were pretty good, but they couldn't. Calhoun just had, too much. Even with the shots Bailey missed, she got her own rebound and put them back in. Then in the 2A boys, talk to us a little bit, Talante, what you saw in 2A boys. You had Kahoma County and Bay Springs. What did you see?
Kahoma County and Bay Springs. I always had Kahoma County picked to win, but I knew Bay Springs wasn't a pushover just by the teams that they beat. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, so I knew they weren't a pushover from the teams they beat. And honestly, that game was anybody's game. Number 33 for Kahoma, he had a really big game. The bigger kid, he was hitting threes and everything, so he had a solid game. Bay Springs had some guys that had some really good games, but down the stretch, like I said, it could have went either way. I thought Bay Springs probably should have won the game. I think they kind of got unlucky on some plays where they missed, some little putback layups, which everybody been doing so far. I don't know if it's the rims or something. I think it's because it's in Jackson again. Everybody just missing little bunnies at the rim. So Kahoma, I did pick Kahoma to win just because they had the experience and they had those young guys that got the chance to experience getting the championship last year. So I did pick Kahoma to win it, and they end up winning that in OT.
Yeah, you did. And I picked Bay Springs, because I hadn't seen either one of them. And I don't know why I would pick against my hometown. I'm just so silly, you know. I don't know why we're picking against Derek Moore. I'm looking at the roster. He done got 2017, 2018, 2020 championship. I'm over here trying to be smart. Um, and Bay Springs, though, I got a chance to see. Kahoma, to be honest, they just have a bunch of dudes that can hoop. They got like 10 guys. It seemed like he played everybody on the roster. But, and everybody did their job. They only have 3 seniors. Now, the kid that went to the line a lot that I did notice was Jermel Daniels, 6'2" point guard. Uh, Almost costing the game in the sense that he really handled the ball really well, did a good job at that, but they fouled him. He had to be 5 for 15 or 5 for 12 from the free throw line. He was splitting a pair every time almost. So that's something to watch out for in the championship. Bay Springs, I was really impressed with. A young man, the big fella, Curtis Booth, hit me. And it's rare, man, we're doing the showcase. It's rare that another player nominates another player to be in the game. He said, man, is it too late to nominate somebody? And I was like, I thought usually when they ask that, they asking for themselves. He said, man, I ain't asking for me. I'm a football player. He said, I'm asking for Chad Jones. And Chad Jones is the real deal. That was number 11 for Bay Springs. The one that he could have won the game with those free throws.
Right.
But he didn't, he split a pair and took it to overtime. But he was kind of getting to where he wanted to. And I talked to him a little bit after the game, definitely inviting him to the showcase because he is, that's what the showcase is about, And so guys like that, to get a good chance. And so that was Homer County, you ain't got to worry. I won't bet against them no more. I won't say against them no more. Then in the nightcap, Calhoun City, in the second game, Calhoun City and Newton beat them 77-42, and it was just, it got ugly and got ugly quick.
Yeah, I had glanced at that game. I had stopped watching that game after halftime. I can't remember what the score was, but you could tell it was getting ugly. So I had kind of drifted off from that one. You know what I'm saying? I took a TV break on that one because y'all getting to actually sit in the arena, but I'm watching them on TV. So I probably would have took a lunch break if I was at the arena as well for that game. I probably would have got up and probably did some other stuff, walk around, chop it up with some people during that game. But Newton had a great, from the looks of it, they had a great game plan. They jumped on them early, so I think that should be a great game between them and Kahoma.
I think you had. Let me see where you.
I got Kahoma winning it all for 2-8.
Yeah, you had Kahoma winning all. I got you. I got you down, buddy. What you got? I wrote it down. So we ain't gonna let you just tell me what you got. I know what you got. I wrote it down. So then we go into the 5A girls. 5A girls and 5A girls had Belmont Lady Carter. Nope, that's not it.
5A, you got Laura and Neshoba Central played the first game.
Laura and Neshoba Central. What a very good game that was. It was back and forth, and then Laurel ended up getting it done. But Neshoba Central, I love the way they play. They play very similar to how I want to play. They gonna press you. They gonna shoot threes. I was really impressed with. Obviously, I know several of the girls. I was Shaylin Hunter, a sophomore. Got that thing on the string. She was really good. I was impressed with Alicia Jim, a 5'7" senior. Number 23, Veronica Williams was good. And Laurel had 2 absolutely dog. They had a team full of dogs, but Mackenzie Thomas and Zoe Cooley, both going to Jones Junior College. They Jones, I see why they number 2 in they number 2 for a reason. And so But it was a good game. They ended up getting it done, and then Holmes County.
I think I did have Laura winning that game. I think I can't remember who I had.
Let me see here. T-Web girls.
I think I should have had Laura.
You had Holmes County winning it all. I don't know who you had with the Laura.
Yeah, I had Laura winning that one, but I do got home. I don't think they're gonna beat Holmes County. I think Holmes County just clicked at the right time. I think they just the girls team just looked too good. You know what I'm saying? In the seventh grader, she's actually really good. I got to see her last week versus Columbus, and I said when I went to that game, whoever won that game, that was the championship game. Those were the best two. I think Columbus and Holmes County were the best two teams in 5A for the girls. So that was a close game that they got out with a win in Columbus. So I do think they're gonna win it all. But that seventh grader, Kelsey, what's her
Kelsey
name?
Andrews. Please, don't forget her name, buddy.
Kelsey Andrews. Look, I had just seen her for the first time last week, but she's really, really good already.
Today she had, I found out this today. She led the state as a seventh grader in shot blocks. She had 10 points and 10 blocks today.
I can believe it, and she can actually dribble and stuff too, dribble and shoot.
Oh, what you talking about? Shoot, she can do it all.
I can only imagine how good she's gonna be, and she has a high IQ. I can only imagine how good she's gonna be in 5 years. You know what I'm saying?
She's a coach's daughter, I think.
Yeah, she is. I mean, but at the same time, she already in some D1s that's in school right now. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. It's just the truth. She's better than most high school girls in any state. I mean, she plays U17 as a seventh grader, so it kind of speaks for itself. But absolutely, she had a super block versus a really good player in Columbus last week, and she got it at the highest point, like caught it, like cuffed it, and brought it down. They end up calling the foul on it, but she can really, really play. I think she's going to be a really special player.
Shoes, welcome in. Let's go back to 2A boys. Shoes, if you want to comment. Coahoma County, Bay Springs, what you see?
Coahoma I got to give Derek more credit. He does a great job year in, year out. He has Coahoma ready to play. I never expected them to be back in the championship game this year with all the personnel they lost last year. But he's got them. They look good. They executing. Bay Springs came to play. They're just always have a pretty good bit of talent and athletes over there. I mean, they're here regularly at the Coliseum also. But Coahoma they just executed. They let it get away in regulation. But I got to give you, I got to take my head off. Like I said, Coach Moore, he has them ready to play. He has them executing and playing ball.
And I was saying, shoot, Coahoma has so many players. There's not just one standout guy that I can recall other than number one, the point guard, Jamel Daniels, because he missed a lot. They fouled him. He shot a lot of free throws and he missed a lot, but he was still their number one ball handler, and he was able to, hit just enough to win the game.
Number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oklahoma. Number one. Yeah, number one, Oklahoma. Yeah, he hit just enough. I think they probably should have closed out in regulation, but as you observed when we were there, you said that they were up close to 18 and kind of started playing possession ball and
now that's what. Now were they up 18, Shoes?
That's what I heard. I came in.
Yeah, I heard that, but I thought they was only up 12. To be honest, I don't remember them being. I don't know. Devontae, do you remember being 18?
Which game was that?
Coahoma County.
I don't think so. I don't think it ever got to that. I don't think it ever got that big.
No,
I think it might have been about it might have been about what 10 at the most one time. I don't think it ever got that big.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But I didn't. I don't think any team should try. This is EB's philosophy. And although, I have, and I say this, I know y'all hear me say it all the time. Y'all probably get tired. I've coached for 28 years and over 900 games. And so my thing is this. I don't believe, even at the higher levels, well, obviously they got the shot clock at the higher levels. I don't think a team can hold the ball for more than a minute without turning the ball over. So I don't understand why teams try to take the air out of the ball at 4 and 5 minutes. And, like you're doomed for it. You're setting yourself up to come back. You're out of rhythm. Me personally, if I'm up 10 and 8 or 6, I'm hooping until about that. I start to maybe do a little bit more offense at 2 minutes. But then at 1:30, then I might be able to, like 1:30 to 2 minutes, then I might just take some air out the ball. But I just want to lay it. I'm never trying to hold it for nothing because I know I'm gonna turn the ball over. I ain't in no shot here.
It's hard to hold that ball.
And I'm like y'all, you know what I'm saying, holding the ball. I mean, you got to think most teams only have, realistically, most of the high school teams only have 2 good players on there. Well, 2 real basketball players. So when you got the other 3 guys that you're entangling in, somebody gonna turn that ball over. You know what I'm saying? You might have the football player out there who you just got out there for defense. When that game get tight, as you can see, when that score gets tight, you might just say you're up by 5 and you're trying to stall the ball. You probably got a chance of them turning the ball over just because they're gonna panic. You know what I'm saying? They might try to trap in the corners or something. So 9 times out of 10, they're gonna probably turn that ball over. So me personally, I think some of the games, some of the people probably should have tried to stall, at least burn some time off the clock in these games today, because some people almost gave the game away. We're not gonna call no names for no teams, but some teams almost gave it away throughout the day. They almost gave those games away by not burning some of the clock off.
Yeah. To me, one of the biggest things about trying to run clock is killing the momentum and the rhythm that you have. Because if the game does get tight, now you lost rhythm, and it's hard to make shots and know exactly and now kids are caught in that middle ground decision making and stuff like that. So that's the biggest thing for me about just running clock so early in the game. I mean, I've seen some outstanding teams that running clock. I guarantee you, if Ron Norman want to run clock, they can run clock. I've seen him do it when he was at Wayne County and some of these other places. I saw him run clock on Planet was the whole second half one time. But they shot layup after layup after layup. They know what they want to get out of it. So they and like you said earlier, EV, you running it to get baskets. That's one thing. If you running it just to hold that ball, man, that's a turnover waiting to happen.
Yeah. And it just looked welcome in, Cord. What up, Cord?
What's up, Coach? Y'all talking about the running clock. I don't know if y'all remember. Y'all remember when Holly Springs was good and that team had ran the clock on them? It's like 06, 07 maybe. I forgot who ran the clock on them.
That was Archie Carlisle. That stalled the game away on them.
Okay.
But
I always remember that game.
You all remember? What people don't know about that game is Holly Springs went up, and the coach of Holly Springs was Nealon. Coach Nealon was it Nealon?
Mm-hmm.
Nealon decided he wanted to show Archie he could play his game. After he got a 5-point lead, he pulled the ball out, and it played right in the Archie's hand, in the Carlisle's hand. And Carlisle ended up beating him in a low-scoring game.
I remember that. That game was like 10-8 or something like that. It was low.
Really low score.
I'm gonna tell you this: when I was a kid, Shelby Broadstreet played Coahoma Aggie. Coahoma Aggie had one of the best high school teams to me in the state of Mississippi in 1986. They went 31-0, won a state championship. They had Chris Brunt, Marvin Furs, Timothy Pollard, Eddie Vaden, and Carl Curry. At that time, the best starting 5. They were, even though they were 1 year ahead of me, I looked up to those guys, even though I wasn't even around. It might not have been 86. It might have been 80. I don't know. 84. It was either 84 or 86. It was one of them. And Shelby Broadstreet with Ira Peterson's dad. Coach Peterson, who won the championship at Kahoma County in 2006 with Raymond Johnson. Kahoma beat them 8 games in a row. 8 games throughout that year. Shelby Broadstreet might have been 21-8, and all games they lost was to Kahoma, and one of the games was 6-4 to Aggie. At the time they called them, the Aggie Tigers. So I don't know, like I said, with the stalling the ball, like I thought that hurt Kahoma County today. And again, Kahoma County, Derek Moore may say to me, no, we weren't stalling the ball. It just looked like it. And we may be wrong, in our assessment because we don't know what, you guys, what you're trying to accomplish, but it just looked like that. And that to me allowed Bay Springs.
84 he beat New Albany in the championship in 84.
Was it 84? Okay.
That was 84.
What was the score that you?
Aggie beat New Albany 55-42.
Yeah. The one of, still to this day, out of all the teams I've seen, one of the, like probably top 5 high school teams I've ever seen. That Coach Washington, James Washington, was the head coach of that. And Chris Brunt went on to play. He was one of the top guys in the country. He went on to play at Arkansas. Marvin Furge played it. Was crazy too. Little Timothy Pollard played at Mississippi Valley, and Carl Curry played at Valley and was on one of those teams that went to the NCAA tournament. Cordarius, you see any? Did you watch any girls games today? Did you see anything that you?
I just kept up with it. I didn't see anything pop up. I see my pick won. My 2 picks, Laura and Holmes County.
Okay, let me see.
Holmes County took care of Pitts.
Yeah, you did, and so tomorrow let me see who you got. Yep, you said Laura, and you got I think you got Laura winning, didn't you?
No, Holmes County winning.
I went with Laura.
Well, let me go back. Let me see where.
I went with Laura last
Because I wasn't too familiar with Laura except for the Jones kids.
You had Holmes County. Yep, I'm looking at it. You had Holmes County. In the other game, Holmes County girls tonight, I'm telling you, they look really, really good. And when you see a 7th grader, we can't talk enough about her. Do what she did. It's amazing. She's a phenom. And sometimes kids can be like, and people be like, man, get off her jock, or how they say other stuff, or get off, like how we ride Deshaun Ruffin. But when you get a chance to see greatness, and whenever the 6A girls come, Madison Booker is great, and so when we get a chance to see that, you don't see that often, somebody at that level, In this state championship, we have 3 high majors that are playing. The only 3 high majors in the state. Madison Booker from Germantown, Debrisha Poe from Meridian, and Kelsey Andrews from Holmes County. Those are going to be bona fide high major kids. And at the end of the day, we should celebrate them. Do we have any high major boys left? So, think about that.
Nah.
I don't think so.
For me,
we got some guys. I think they can play. They could play some low major, mid major. I think.
Ain't no question. Because one of my. We're gonna talk about. We'll go into the boys. Obviously, the 5A boys. We can shift right into that. Salante, go ahead and tell us what you saw between Lake Corman and Hattiesburg, and then we're going.
Well, that game, it actually went how I thought it was gonna go. I didn't know much about Hattiesburg, but I figured, what I'm saying, they weren't gonna have too much firepower. I figured both teams being there, well, not really for the first time with Hattiesburg, because you guys said they went there like 2 years ago, but with Lake Comarant, you know what I'm saying, having such an emotionally and physically draining win over Callaway on Saturday, I figured they would probably come in kind of hung over a little bit. They did start off strong, but they kind of, you know what I'm saying, fell into some droughts. They didn't make shots, couldn't make free throws, but they found a way to get it done. It wasn't pretty like we said it was going to be. It was a real ugly game, and I know you guys were there, so I'm sure you can attest to it more than I can about it being, you know what I'm saying, not pretty, but it didn't look good on my end watching it on TV. I think both teams struggled in long patches to get buckets, so hopefully they can come in Saturday, make some free throws and make some shots.
What do you think?
I think the game Saturday could be it should be an exciting game. I mean, it's gonna be real interesting. Um, a lot of it's gonna come down to, EVU and I talked about it tonight, and we watched last night, we watched tonight, we watched today. When we watched the boys' games, all the boys' games. It's becoming quite clear that the referee here at the Coliseum is going to let them play a little bit. Going to let them bump and grind a little bit. Going to let them play on everything but the bang bang charge calls. They're going to get them, but everything else they seem to be letting them play out on the floor, some bumping and grinding. We definitely said earlier that bumping and grinding played in the Holmes County's hand. They got all those stocky country kids, man, country boys is stockily built, and they played into their hands because they played through the contact pretty good and were able to, use the contact to impede Forest Hill on the other end. If the trend continues, I got to figure that it'll play into their hands Friday night also, because they come out today showed that the pressure seemed to rally them a little bit later in the game, even though they had some stretches they seemed to play well. But and we might as well get ready after looking at these two teams for a wild and woolly helter skelter type game. Neither one looks like they're gonna be trying to pull it out. they're gonna be full steam ahead.
And me, look, I know Shoes. We were talking about the one game. Shoes and he didn't went ahead and cover both. But
yeah. We talking about we talk about Lake Harmon and Hattiesburg. What happened to that, Shoes? And then you'd have flipped into Forest Hill.
I'm talking about the 5-8 games.
Yeah.
I was going to make. My point was that the refereeing played a big part with the refereeing. The fact that they're allowing them to played in the Holmes County's hands.
Granted, with me, I think the refs did good tonight because they called a lot of blocks, which were blocks. You know what I'm saying? I know you guys were there, but on the TV angle, it did look like blocks to me.
No, good. We ain't got no problem with the officials tonight.
It was fairly good, well called game. I'm just saying that they let them play.
You're breaking up.
They let them bump and grind. They let both teams bump and grind, but it played in the Holmes' hands a lot more because Holmes got that big physical. All those physical guards and those physically built kids.
Mm-hmm. I can agree with that.
But I got a little issue.
I think the game Saturday gonna. I think it's gonna really come
a lot. And anyway,
Evie, I think it's you that's breaking up, man.
Yeah, Evie,
we'll come back to Shoes when he comes out of low. How?
Yeah, I think it's EV. EV got the technical difficulties over there, but me, I think the game Saturday's gonna come down to who can make the most coaching adjustments. Just from watching the games tonight, I think Holmes County made some good adjustments in the second half to actually throw Forest Hill some loops. You know what I'm saying? They mixed up the little defensive coverage. So they did make some very good adjustments. I think that gave them a chance to win that game. And I think Saturday, I think both teams are going to come ready to play. I think the first quarter probably going to be slow because neither team has been to that level before to the championship. So I think the first quarter might be a little slow. But after that, my internet popped out. Can y'all still hear me?
I hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. But after that, I think it should open up. I think both teams are going to be ready to play. But I think it's going to come down to coaching and adjustment. So Saturday, I think we can make that adjustment to get the team over the hump. That's who's gonna get it because I think both teams are gonna come ready to play. Up, see, EV gone. Now I'm the host. So, what y'all think on that? Corey, did you watch any of the games?
I didn't get the chance. I mean, I seen both teams. I seen both teams play. I was impressed by Holmes County Central early in the season. They seem like one of them teams that just gonna find a way to win the game, no matter who's scoring. Is I'm wrong about that? Like they just gonna get it done.
Yeah,
They were up and down early in the season, but coming in, I actually had them ranked in the preseason. We knew they had talent. They had they went to Terry and got a big win early, and then they lost to Vicksburg, they lost to Starkville. They had an ugly loss to Ridgeland. Early on, they got like eight losses, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So they were up and down early, but we knew they had talent. They were talented, and then they were going through a coaching change. It's the coach's first year, and their team. The thing that's scary about them is they only got one senior that's playing minutes. Quincy Rowe, number 2, is the only senior playing major minutes. All the rest of those boys are like juniors.
That's the guard, the big stocky guard.
Stocky guard that was guarding Jamie Mitchell most of the night. He's the only real senior that's playing.
Yeah, I seen them play Bartlett. Bartlett got a couple, prominent kids that folks, talk about up his way. And they pushed them to the limit. I was impressed. I was like, okay, this team right here, I didn't see much noise on them, but I was like, this team right here is some dogs right here. And it don't surprise me that they in a championship game though.
right. There was always them and Lake Cumberland were always in my 5A. That was always in my top 7. You know what I'm saying? I knew they could be there. Of course, everybody thought Callaway was going to be probably the runaway favorite to win it all, but they were always like right there looking in. So, you know what I'm saying? If something drastic happened like Lake Cumberland knocking off Callaway, I figured that these guys could probably make it to the championship. So they were always there. Like you said, both teams have guys that are dogs who are going to play hard. So I always liked them. This year, you know what I'm saying? They did start slow because of the coaching change.
Who's the best player in that game?
Ooh, that's tough. That's a great question.
What game y'all talking about? I was lost for a little bit.
We're talking about the championship game. Who's gonna be the best player in the game?
He had to go finish his chicken.
Man, my internet, my Zoom just went off. So I guess y'all kept going. Talante, what are you drinking right there, man? I just see you.
These nerds.
Oh, yeah. Hey, come on, tell us, the snacks of the day brought to you by nerds.
I just asked him, who's the best player in the 5A championship game?
That's a great question.
I got Brooks.
I got Brooks.
You got Brooks. I'm gonna say Brooks and probably number 0 played really good for Holmes County tonight. I think that matchup is probably gonna be Brooks might be the best player in there.
Oh, that's Hogan. That's Mister. You talking about Mister?
Yeah, I liked him. He was a dog tonight.
Yeah.
I think he got them over that hump.
I agree with you. Mister is the one who's been inboxing me talking about we taking everybody but him. So he let me know. And
look, he hopped on one of my mentions today. You know what I'm saying? He gonna hit me with a LOL because I was like, I had tweeted this might get ugly. And then Coach Sanders, he on there too talking about, yeah, he is. he like LOL.
Well, here's the thing. And I talked to Coach Patrick. I think it's Coach Antoine, who was the coach last year over the summer. And I really thought when I watched them play in the summer that, man, they were a really good team. And I said, man, they got a chance. I said, y'all gonna have whoever it is. I thought it was 2 teams, to be honest with you, that could dethrone Callaway, not knowing how good Forest Hill was going to be. And really, the 2 teams that could dethrone Callaway are in the state championship game. So it's I'm not in shock right now. I'm not like, oh my God, I can't believe they're in the state championship. No, I'm not there at all. They both deserve to be there. They and we're genuinely and like we said, I'm gonna keep repeating this. we're genuinely happy for Lake Cormorant and Holmes County. Congratulations, man. I'm happy for all kids to get a chance to experience that. I was fortunate in my first year in Mississippi coaching as an assistant to get to the state championship game. And I'll be honest with you, I probably didn't I probably hadn't processed that really, because everybody don't get to the state championship game. And so to get there is something special. And so my hat's off to you. I definitely think Mr. and KB, I think Brooks is the best prospect. Like if I look at a prospect to go to the next level, I think Brooks is at being at 6'4", combo guard. When I look at him, as a very good prospect. I look at Donovan Sanders. He's a very good college player. Damon McKnight, he's going to be a college player. I think Hogan with, like I said, Mr. And I think Lou, the leaper.
Thomas.
Luzavius Thomas, I know they call him.
Yeah, really good game tonight.
Yeah, he had 21.
Yeah, really good game.
He had 21. He got a lot of leak outs. I thought he dominated the glass tonight.
Is that number one?
That's number one.
I think he's gonna be the X factor for Holmes County.
Yeah, and I think Quayshawn Rowe, number 2, who did a very good job on Jamie Mitchell. I didn't know, Talante, until you said it. I didn't know Jamie Mitchell had 16 points in the first half.
Yeah, he did. He was killing.
I didn't realize that because he did not have 16 points in the second half. I do know that.
How many did he finish with?
I can't look. We would have had no stats.
Yeah, that's what's crazy, man. We ain't got no stats, Shoes. That's your fault, Shoes.
No, that's y'all fault. Y'all love the Coliseum. They need to get a stat keeper.
And Robert, the guy from Mississippi Gridiron didn't show up this year to keep stats. Usually keeping stats. Nobody that keeping stats this year.
Man, that's big. It feels good.
I'm keeping myself, but I didn't even keep them myself tonight. So I usually just keep them just writing down on paper, but I didn't tonight.
Yeah, I think I might have to.
Jamie had 16 in the first half. He had to have about 24 to 26. I know he had at least 6 to 8. Because remember, he had 4 right there late. And I know he had a couple of others. So he had 20 something, at least 20 something tonight.
But and I thought that what I said when I saw Forest Hill, Holmes County, for me, Forest Hill role players didn't score their normal points. Like Kelton Burke, you can count him in number 10 for 6 points every night. He didn't get that. Trey Maxey didn't get his 6 to 10. Jordan Ely, I don't know if he got his 6 to 10. And Jamari Marshall didn't get his normal 12, I think. George Marshall was in foul trouble. And so give hats off to Holmes County, man. Like you said, the physicality, the way the refs allowed them to play, played in the Holmes County favor, especially once they got back in the game. When they allowed Holmes County to get back in the game and they let the crowd get in, it gave them some confidence. Their Holmes County crowd was loud. I mean, everybody got energy. You could tell the players, and it was a great, another great day of basketball. And so for me, let's we've had our picks, so we got to we stick with them. But for me, Holmes County, Lake Cormorant, who you got? Talante, you still sticking with Lake Cormorant?
Oh man, it's tough. I mean, for me, it's such a toss up now, and you know what I'm saying. And then I know that Holmes County girls playing the game before that, so Holmes County probably might have 1,000 people in there. You know what I'm saying, give or take, maybe 1,500.
No. They're gonna have about 1,500.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying, and I think I don't know. I'm sure Lake Cormorant gonna bring some people out too, but man, that's a toss-up game. I don't know. I think I might still ride with I'm gonna still ride with Lake Cormorant just because, you know what I'm saying, that's why I picked that first. But I do think it's a toss-up game. I think it's one of those games that You know what I'm saying? We really don't know who's gonna win. I think whoever show up that day hot, I think that's who's gonna win. So it's not like I'm super confident either one of them's gonna beat the next one, but I think whoever showed up to play that day, that's who's gonna win that one.
Yeah. Well, what about you? Who you got?
I'm going with Holmes County. I think, like I said earlier, while you were out, I think that if the refs continue, I think it's been the course of the 2 days. The refs have let the teams play. If they let them play, continue to let them play, I definitely think it favors Holmes County, and I think they are, you know, they're playing right now at a level. I think I think it favors them. From what I saw between the two teams today, I think they'll. I'm gonna take them in a tough one. And I got to say this: hats off to both teams. Congratulations to both teams. I'm so darn hurt that we got this darn championship game. I just can't get fired up for it. I don't want to see this crap. I wanted to see Callaway Murph. Forrest Hill.
I just saw.
It's like this is the black sheep game of the state tournament to me.
Jamie Mitchell. Tony Chapman said on live chat, Jamie Mitchell finishes with 21. So
he only had 5 points in the second half.
Unless he didn't have 16 in his first.
Nah, he had 16 in the first. I think they even said that on the on air.
I thought he had more than 5 in the second. I'm on part of he had more than 5 in. I don't know though. He might not have. I thought you got to think about it. Free throws too. I remember him some free throws too in the second half.
Yeah. I don't know.
He went to the line once and went 1 out of 2. Another time he went 2 out of 2. Then he had 2 baskets right. He had the 2 baskets. They cut it to 4 from 6 to 2. Yeah, both of those baskets.
Hey, y'all supposed to be running over there to that stat book, taking pictures at the end of the game, man. You supposed to go get them stats.
You know what? I thought about that several times, Delonte, to be honest with you, and I just hadn't done it. You know, to be honest, man, I'm telling you, especially, you know, shoes, and I pretty much been there the whole day.
Yeah, I already know.
Man, when the time the game over, I'd be running to the restroom. You know, but I got Holmes County. I got Holmes County. I'm not gonna bet against Mister no more. He ain't gonna be in my inbox. So I got Holmes County. Mister, inbox me now and say thanks, coach. You know, can you do that? You inbox me for everything else. Inbox me for that. You know, inbox me when you talk about me. You know, I'm riding with y'all. Okay, I'm riding with y'all. Like remember I had that conversation. See now, Mister, I just thought about this. You remember that conversation I had with y'all over the summer? I hope you, Coach Patrick, can you remind them of that, please? Who you got, Corey?
I got Lake Comer. As much as I like that Holmes County Central team, I got to roll with Lake Comer. I live in Walls, Mississippi. My brother coach at the middle school with Lake Comer. Got to roll with him.
And you know what? Here's the thing. We can try to trick and geek ourselves if we want. Jude's probably the only one that might. Man, we got to live in these communities. Like you said,
I'm in Walls. I'm 10 minutes away from the school. So.
And
yeah,
so,
but I think either one of them safe picks. You know what I'm saying? If we had to go on for tonight's performance, you know what I'm saying, everybody would be leaning more toward Holmes County. You know what I'm saying? Because they did play a better team and they did put up more points. And I think they had a solid game. They shot better from the free throw line, but I don't expect Lake Comerant to be that bad offensively again come Saturday. And I know Holmes County, because I talked to Coach Patrick after the game. I know they're not going to take Holmes County lightly either, you know what I'm saying, judging them off the performance tonight. So I know they're going to get there.
I fully expect an exciting game Saturday.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be an exciting game. I think it's going to be a hard-fought, exciting game. So I'm going to say that now.
I like these type of games, Shoes.
Well. Huh?
I like these type of games. You know, I know we wanted the big boy matchup, but you know, first time in history, Lake Comer, you know, they're a newer school.
I think it's gonna be exciting. I think it's gonna be an exciting game. I think they match up well. I think they match up well. I think it's gonna be a really exciting game.
Yeah.
Well, here's the great thing. Somebody is going to win their first state championship in school history.
No, that's great, and I like the storyline. You know what I'm saying? I like the storyline. Have Holmes County ever been to the championship before?
No. Well, I don't know if they've been.
No, not since they've been home county.
Okay. Well, hey,
they've only been in existence about 6 years. But they've only been in existence about 6 years, I think.
Oh, that's
okay.
They were a combination of.
Well, Lake Conroe's only been in existence since 2010.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, that's even more exciting for both of them.
Yeah.
Now, Chula Marshall played in like 2 or 3, one or two, played in 2 or 3 championships when they were Chula Marshall when Patrick was the coach at Chula Marshall before they became Holmes County. So they have a basketball, pedigree simply from Chula Marshall and William Sullivan. That Lexington County pedigree has always had a good basketball over there. Even Lexington McLean had pretty good teams, even though they weren't a regular at the Coliseum or anything. But Chula Marshall was a regular. Has been good from all of 2000s on into when they combined. So they've got a strong base for teams that made it to Jackson. Because like I said, Chula was in 2 or 3 straight like 2A state championship games. And I know they won at least one.
And I know y'all said that KB Brooks is probably the best prospect in the game. I just want to ask a question. Because my brother raves about KB Brooks. Why is he? What makes him not a D1 right now in his career? Is it promotion? Is the AAU team? Is not really being seen as much?
I think it's a combination of everything.
That was the exact word I was going to use. Combination.
I think it's a combination of everything. Me personally, I think he probably does need a year of JUCO. For the simple fact that he just needs to learn like the intangible things. You know what I'm saying? Like being coachable and things like that. So I definitely think he can get to the Division I level. I just think he needs a little bit more time to mature into a player to be ready to deal with everything that goes along with being at the D1 level.
My question was, who's the best player? I didn't say who's the best prospect. I think Lavavius Thomas is the best prospect in the game.
You talking about that's the
6'7",
big man?
long, active.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he's the best prospect in the game, but I do think if you're talking about who's the best player who can affect the game, Brooks is probably that. And to answer the question Cord asked, I just think a lot of it has to do with, a lot of it does have to do with who you've been in front of, the kind of situation, who you got to play in front of, publicity, recruit, just being able to be seen. It's hard for the guys here in Mississippi at times, especially from the rural areas and outlying areas, to get in front of the coaches enough to really be recruited. Yeah. That's why our JUCOs do come in big for us at. Especially if you don't play a lot of AAU ball. I'm sure he didn't. Of course, this summer he didn't get to go out and play in front of any coaches. So that definitely hurt everybody. It hurt everybody this year. That's going. I don't know. We're gonna have more than 4 or 5 Division I signees this year. I think we got more. Got more. Yes, we could play Division I than that, but I don't know. We're gonna have 5 Division I signees this year in the class.
And that's an ongoing question right there. That's an ongoing question. Right,
that's a big question because it's like you said, Mississippi's so big that we don't really get to see everybody. Because like last year, if I only had my camp, I wouldn't even knew who Donovan Sanders and KB Brooks or McKnight were. You know what I'm saying? That's just being real. And then like this year, you know what I'm saying, we had it in Jackson, so we had kids from pretty much all parts of the state. So, Shoes, have you ever seen Donovan Sanders and them play until then?
I hadn't seen them play. I knew about them and knew about them, but I hadn't seen them play before their camp.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Like, we really don't. Mississippi is really a big state, you know what I'm saying, from top to bottom. That
we are a rural state. That's the biggest thing. We're such a rural state, which means you're spread out with smaller size, mid-sized towns. And coaches aren't going into those towns unless they already know what they're going to look for. Recruiter player. They're not going to a Lake Claremont Horn Lake game just see if they can find a player. They have to know a player already. They're gonna go to the game.
And that's why
You
Go
know,
ahead.
That's the very reason for me.
I think he done went out again.
he lost again, EV. EV struggling tonight. He's
Yeah,
struggling,
yeah,
baby.
but that's definitely what I think.
That's a big deal. Our rule is hurts us
Yeah,
more than like over in Alabama. They
Can
got a
y'all
lot
hear
of
me?
big towns. They got a lot of big cities and stuff over in Alabama, and they're not quite as rural. They are rural in a lot of ways, but they're not as rural
right.
as we are.
Mhm.
I mean, and I just think the ruralness, especially like up in Northeast Mississippi, in North Mississippi, where you got every little town got their own
Yeah,
school.
yeah,
You know, they gonna you can't get them to consolidate
yeah.
over there
You're right.
and develop. So I think that plays a big part in our
Cause if
guys
you
being.
look at Lake
I
Common,
think
you just hearing off name wise, you'll be like Donovan. Which Donovan Sanders probably one of the best, point guards in the state. But you would think Donovan Sanders was hands down the best prospect on the team. And they got KB Brooks that I didn't really know about. My brother always said, "No, that guy right there." He
KB has always been
yeah,
their leading scorer. I kept up with him even before I saw him last year. He put up numbers last year. And Donovan is a really good point guard. I think both of them are prospects. I'd even go as far as saying Donovan may have a better outlook for Division One than KB simply because he has the
yeah.
position that he really fits into. KB, on the other hand, so he's kind of a wing that's not a great ball handler, and but you know what I noticed tonight? He's tall, he hadn't taller. He's standing he's standing between, close to 6'5".
Absolutely. And I think, and,
He's,
and, and Shoes, I would disagree with you just a little bit. I think he does handle the ball well enough on the wing, at the wing position, to play at that next level. And I think that,
well, I think he plays more like a three
yeah,
than a
yeah,
two.
yeah. And so, I look at, I think right now, you know, the positionless quote unquote basketball that we're playing right now in the small ball era, he can be a three at a SWAC school. He can be that at a low major school. I think a kid too that is a very good prospect. And see, when you said earlier best player, I think KB Brooks, in my opinion, could arguably not only be the best player but the best prospect too. Because now Luzavius Thomas, my thing about him is he's 6'6", 6'7", wiry, strong, athletic, but his skill set is really, really not where it needs to be, but he has upside. So you can flip a coin on those two.
He a 22,
I
right? Is he a 22 guy?
yeah, he is.
Thomas
Okay.
is 22. Thomas is 22.
And Holmes
Mm.
County, man, they only have 3 seniors. So they are,
Mm.
they gonna be back next year. They gonna be back with a vengeance. But let me back up on what y'all talked about. And this is why, and Cord knows this, and all y'all know I've been talking about this. When we talk about the state of Mississippi, I think the state of Mississippi, especially on the girl side, but I would even say on the boy side, is in a unique situation more than any other state. When you talk about, that's why it's important for all of us to unify, because be somewhat united so that the Donovan Sanders of the world, like we should be supporting, Talante's camps, Mark Rose camp. Uh, we should figure out how we can all work together. So now, and then if there's Kevin Cole got a camp down on the Gulf Coast, or if somebody want, so now we can get everybody covered. And then when it comes to the AAU side, yeah, people say, well, it's all right to have multiple AAU teams. Yes and no. I believe, yeah, you can. But I just really believe, man, if we have an organization more like kind of like the NBA, the NBA, where, yeah, if you want to have your own brand, then cool. Like Holmes County kids play for, who do they play for? Shoes or Kalante. What's the name of that team?
Delta Heat or somebody, right?
Delta Heat. Okay, cool. So now, if they play for the Delta Heat, they want to stay together and play. Okay, cool. If they want to do that, great. But let's give them an opportunity, even if they want to have 4 of those guys play and then match up with 4 other guys. And then now when we played it, put a team together, them 4 play together, but then let's all get to the right tournaments. Let's get, if we can put it together where, what I'm talking about, where we get to the right teams, so we tournaments so our kids can get maximum exposure. And I'm talking about when the coaches come back, because right now this is all different. Right now, to be honest with you, and I didn't want to say this right now because I got some things in my thought process. Right now, to be honest with you, when you ain't got no, like, the coaches and you ain't going out, this time to save some money. Like, as far as going all over the world, in my opinion, because you can get what you want to accomplish on the live stream piece.
Now, granted, with me, I think I think you could save some money with a couple of the high school classes. Me personally, I think the younger guys, I think 7th, 8th grade is very important AAU wise for kids development on the girls and boys side. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to get those games, and then you don't want to fall too far behind either, because the way it's set up now, you have to start making a name for yourself once you get to the 8th grade, or you're gonna kind of be out the loop. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of got to start early, because you got everybody getting the YouTube videos, Instagram videos. So a lot of people are getting hyped. So you can kind of fall behind if you don't get that. And I do feel that sometimes we don't make it to those tournaments. We need to make it to being from Mississippi. And when we get there, sometimes we don't compete at the level that we need to compete at. We don't need to walk in the gym. People like, well, they from Mississippi, so that's an easy win when they come in the gym. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of got to change that perspective too.
And I think we do need, I agree, we do need to hit some tournaments. But here's what I was talking to somebody about today. And this is what we got to take a look. Me and Shoes was talking about this, and I've been talking about it to several people. When I came out of Clarksville, Mississippi, I was fortunate that I actually left Mississippi in the 9th grade. So I got a chance to experience, I lived with my aunt in Saginaw, Michigan. Then I moved around after that, went to school in Indiana. So, and then for 20 years, and then I lived in North Carolina. So I've been all over the country and was fortunate enough to travel, then come back to Mississippi. We have to determine now with these kids, and girls and boys, is your mindset, and this is where the parents and everybody got to be on the same page. Are we going to stay in a 3 to 5 hour radius from home, or are we saying we're going to open it up to the whole country and we're going to go wherever? Because if that's not the case, then I think we got to look at this whole thing differently. Because I personally believe Deshaun Ruffin picked the right school. And here's why. Because if Deshaun Ruffin graduates from Ole Miss, Deshaun Ruffin will have a job for the rest of his life if he decides to stay in Mississippi. So I think when kids start to look at where they're going to go to school, they need to start to look at where they're going to live possibly permanently. If you're going to go to Georgia Tech, then you're saying you're going to live in Atlanta for the rest of your life, because once you come back, like one of the things right now, this is my experience. I've coached in, like I said, 28 years, 900 games, but you know what? It means absolutely nothing. Why? Because I ain't never coached in Mississippi. I'm looked at as like, man, I done coached at every level, the highest level possible, other than, high majors, but I done coached high majors. But at the end of the day, I ain't done it in Mississippi, so they don't know me. So that's important when you start looking at jobs. And I think I'm starting to kind of look at this thing differently when we encourage our kids where they're going to play and this, that, and the other. So that's a little bit of my take on this whole AAU and different things, because we talk about getting out there and getting Mississippi on the map, and I'm all for that. I think we have to create that ourselves.
Absolutely.
Because,
I say absolutely. I feel the same way, and it's the same like doing the camp piece. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't do it to make money. We do it to try to help you guys get out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got thousands of coaches that follow, between all of us on
right.
Twitter, everything. When we retweeting it, you never know who looking at your stuff. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Most of the tweets get about 15,000, 20,000 impressions. You don't know who's seeing your name. You know what I'm saying? So now your name is being seen by everybody. So you never know who might call in and try to get some information on you. So you know what I'm saying? Like it takes everybody. You know what I'm saying? It takes the parents, the kids, us, the coaches working together. It take everybody. It take a community to get it done. So.
But it's powerful what John said. I mean, I heard John said 5 to 6 on the boys' side, Division One. I counted the other day 6 to 7, maybe on the girls. Like parents got to get realistic. You spending a lot of money going out of state when we need to keep some of these kids here, especially if you're not a D1. Like if you're not, if you're 2022 and you don't have them D1 offers you're looking for, why are you going all over America trying to find that? You know, that's just my opinion. You know, when we can build something right here in this state. So the parents got to be on the page too. We can't have the same stigma we done had for years. You know, because I think it'll get better.
And I agree. And here's the thing, and I say this humbly, and I'm not saying this in any type of arrogant way. The challenge is, and this is everywhere you go, you have people in positions of authority who are talking more theory than actually have gone through the process.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So I met Shoes. I came to Mississippi 4 years ago, but I knew Shoes 20 years ago. You know, I knew of it.
20 years.
It had to be that I met Shoes a long time ago. So what does that mean? Well, I wasn't here. I traveled all over the country. There's not one male basketball coach that I haven't touched at some point. I'm not saying that to be bragging. I'm just telling you what happened. I was at the North Carolina Duke game. I was in Mike Krzyzewski's office. I was there. You know, he was recruiting my play nephew. I've seen Shoes out in those places. So yeah. Shoes, I know, is a basketball guy. I remember when he wrote for Hoop Scoop, he was the guy, and Clark Francis was the one of the national McDonald's, still got a McDonald's vote today, and Shoes was the Mississippi guy for Hoop Scoop. Talante Weber, the one reason I got with Talante, he's a young guy. He was with Phenom, Hoop Report, back in South Carolina. He knew some people that I knew. He's been all over. So I'm not saying we're the only ones in the state, because we're not. Mark Rowe has been all over. Mark Rowe has been with Adidas, and Mark graduated from Bloomington. And so Mark Rowe is definitely a voice. We have people that you said. Who else?
You got Roberts.
Jeff Roberts. Did you say Jeff Roberts?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff Roberts has people. He's been around for years helping people. So there, and I think that you have to get and on the basketball, on the girls' side, Robert Williams, Robert Wilson, Eddie Young, those guys, and Cordarius is the young guy. That was the one reason I was trying to get them together. And see, for us, I thought Mississippi, different than any other state, we have an opportunity to do something unique because all of our kids are pretty equal. We only, like Deshaun Ruffin. Deshaun Ruffin is our bona fide high major. Devin Reed is a bona fide high major. Kamani Hamilton is going to be a bona fide high major because of their potential. Devin Reed already has an LSU scholarship. I believe Gavin Brinker is going to be a bona fide. He's already. They got high major offers. Yeah. Josh Hubbard. They're bona fide high majors. Now, if you don't, Jacob Gazzo, I think EJ is going to be a high major, the freshman. Now, Mason Manning has some offers, so he's a high major. But the rest of them, to be honest, are low majors, and nothing's wrong with that because there's 350 Division I schools. So why not try to put together, you know, a powerhouse team, some teams, and then have some almost like farm systems like this is what I'm talking about, the NBA, the farm system after that.
I mean, it's kind of like you saying. I mean, you can keep your organization because we all know
Right.
males. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to have their name on it, and it's nothing wrong with that. But you know what I'm saying? We
No.
should still have a unified. You can keep your teams, but we should have. You know what I'm saying? One elite team for every grade. You know what I'm saying? And girls and boys side.
Or two elites.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it might be two. Because
Yeah.
we don't need, you don't need 8 superstars on the team.
Absolutely not.
You need about maybe
Not gonna
4
work.
super and 4 role players.
Yeah. I agree.
And then if you got like, let's do a mock real quick. Okay, the 2023, you got Hubbard and Gazzo. All right, that's your building blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's say you got, let's say you add Brinker to that mix. Mm-hmm. So you got Hubbard, Gazzo, and Brinker. That's your big 3. Now, to me, the other guys should be very good role guys who could potentially get a scholarship off being a hustle guy. And maybe, do you bring in MJ Smith with that team? Can he fit in there?
Yeah, you can fit him in there. That's easy. That's an easy. Yeah, you can fit him. Actually, you can fit him and Osby on that team. I mean Osby on that team.
Okay, so
now they all play so differently.
Okay, so now you got him, Osby. Do we fit LJ Hackman on that team?
He can play. Yep. Him and Wichita, they will coexist on the court together in the backcourt. Him and Josh Hubbard, they play.
Okay.
Totally.
So now there's a team right there. Could they win a national championship in the 2023? I don't know, but they could go out and compete on a national level and be okay. I don't know if they could make it to the Peach Jam, but they possibly could.
So what year is the kid from Olive Branch? What year is he? The kid, I think he had a Mississippi State.
He's a 22.
Oh, he's 22? Oh, okay.
So what I'm saying, those guys, like, we should be able to figure that out. And then what we need to be able to do is figure it out. Okay, who's going to coach that team? What is that going to look like?
You see what I'm saying? Now you're bringing in the hard part. You see what I'm saying? Now that's the hard. I'm just be real with you. That's the hard part. But I think if you know what I'm saying, the power organizations, they come together. Even if you give everybody get one team to coach, like I know most directors, they want to coach their best team. So if you got the good teams, maybe you let one organization, they get the 17, you get the 16, I get the 15s, and we can just keep it that way. You know what I'm saying? That because you're gonna have to compromise somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
There's got to be the compromise. That's right. And see, for me, I'm on the I think I'm a very good coach. I mean, I just believe that. But I'm older now. I've been there, done that. So to me, the older guys in this thing, like me, you, Mark Rowe, it's time to release the guys like Talante, Corey, and whomever else. Because the coaching, we're geeking anyway. I mean, it's not that type of party to me, like where they just got to, people got to be great. Like, so that's why, like I was talking about, like Snacks and Darren Wilson, when they did the Snack Packet League. I ain't tripping on them cutting their teeth, because I cut my teeth. So I had somebody gave me a chance. And I'm gonna win some, I'm gonna lose some. But we have to they have to be willing to be trained. I need to be able to tell Corey, now this is what I would have done differently. And Corey, who's a good coach and I've seen it, need to be able to listen to me. Because I'd have been there. Shoes have been there. I need to be able to tell Talante, man, this is what you could have done differently. And I coach more games than Talante. So, but if we did that together, you'll begin to see our state go to another level. And you'll begin to see more kids get into different colleges and different things like that. The thing that Mississippi has, and I'm gonna tell you what we're fighting against. And I talked to Bender tonight from Southwest. We're fighting the JUCOs. We're fighting the JUCOs to a certain degree.
And I just feel that way because you know what I'm saying, most kids, and it's not a bad thing, but you know what I'm saying, even if you guys ever watched Last Chance U, one of the kids on there that came from out of state, he was like, why y'all Mississippi kids always go to JUCO? You know what I'm saying? Y'all never go to like a university first. And I think it's just like, it's just so normal. You know what I'm saying? It's just what they're used to.
I'm gonna tell y'all about 10 years ago, when Patty was at a good team, my son was on it. We went over to Bay Springs for their senior day. So I went over to the game. It was an evening game. And at halftime, they did senior day. And when they called out the cheerleaders, the girls basketball player and the boys basketball player, if there were 12 kids they were honoring, 10 of them were going to junior college. And that's when it hit me. These smaller communities, these smaller towns, they flow toward those local junior colleges. They really have an affinity for them. I never realized that to that point. You know, I was always, when I was younger, we always thought 4 years. And Tyler Adams and I talk a lot. He's assistant at Alcorn. He was in that 2011 class that was a really good class, came through here. And he always, we were talking about how all these kids go junior college now. I was like, man, there's nobody in our class, wasn't even nobody in our class thinking about, in that 2011 class, hardly any of the kids were thinking about junior. You had nothing, you didn't hear any of them talking about junior colleges in that class, at the top of that class. And it was deep class. It had about 12, 13, 14, 15, 20 D1s in it maybe. It was a deep D1 signing class. And I don't know where the narrative changed that so many kids go JUCO now. I kind of see it football because football is just a numbers game. But in basketball, I don't know when the narrative changed where everybody kind of wants to, kids now kind of float toward the JUCOs. It's really, really, like Edie said.
I
everybody
think because some of these schools
fighting the JUCO.
Some of these schools recruit a lot of out of state kids. Like some of these programs, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna call no names, but there's a lot of programs in this, and I'm talking on the girl side mainly. A lot of programs that's recruiting, like, you know, they pipeline, whatever they're not really from Mississippi. They recruiting whatever they pipeline from. So they bringing in, like, because you can look at kids like, why is that kid in junior college? Or why that kid going to JUCO? She could play here or he can play here, but they don't recruit them. So if they don't recruit them, they don't recruit their state well. That's why I think we need to push some of these coaches coming into this state. They got to recruit their state well. At least give a kid a chance. Now, if they're not good enough for your program, then, you know.
And I feel that's at every level, even like the black colleges we have here, like the SWAC schools. I think they can probably recruit, you know what I'm saying, in-state talent better.
They do. They need to. But here's the problem with that, Kelante. I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, finish up. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
Here's the problem, because I coached at Jackson State. And me and Bender, Shoes was there. We just talked about this today. The JUCOs are recruiting against the Jackson States and Alcorns and Valleys because they're saying we can get you better. We can get you better deals. And the thing is this. Here's the thing, and this is what baffles me. And I love our JUCOs because they look like I had my prep school last year, and I had kids from all over the country. And when we played every JUCO, and they said, man, this is a junior college? It looked like a university. You go down to Jones, you go to Hines, you go anywhere. I don't care. Kahoma. Man, those are nice campuses, nice buildings, big gym. The gyms are off the chain. I mean, you know, it's nice.
Right.
But at the end of the day, they're fighting against our four-year schools. In girls, and I've been privileged since I've been here to now, I have an idea of both boys and girls, the landscape of it. The girls' game has so many low D1 kids, potentially. Alcorn, Jackson State got 9 kids from Mississippi. 9. Where is all, and I'm gonna be honest with you, there's another 9 that's out there that Valley.
It's another 9.
And Alcorn should have gotten. He's got 1, Ari Winston. 6'1" should be no doubt in the SWAC. Jaquia Bailey, the Bailey girl I just saw from Calhoun City. It's a no-brainer she should be playing
No brainer.
Maisha Scott from Provine. She's 6 feet. And
Mara Nunley is D1, even though, I mean, we talking swag, but Mara Nunley is D1.
Mara Nunley is D1, no doubt about it. Allie Alford's D1.
Allie Alford D1.
What's baffling, you guys know what's most baffling. I've been around here watching the swag ball a long time, and I say it's about in-state. Now, I'm not as well versed on the girl, but since I've been young, every Mississippi team, boys-wise, that I know of, if most of them that have had good runs, been NCAA tournament teams, conference champions, been really good in their conferences, had a strong Mississippi base of kids. And I'm talking old. If you think about Ole Miss, when they were rolling, they had the Provine Posse. Now the group right before them that kind of started the run that had Jason Smith and Mike White and those guys, they didn't have a lot of Mississippi kids. Joe Zahn was the only Mississippi kid on that first group. But the next group that followed right behind them, that had the really deep NCAA run, had the Provine Posse and those guys, and Raheem Lockhart. They were the main staples of that program, of that team. The Southern Miss teams that went deep in the NCAA tournament, they went to the NCAA tournament, won their conference. They had Darren Jenkins, Clarence Witherspoon, Darren Chancellor, Russell Johnson. They were 4 starters on that team. You go back to all the SWAC teams that have been good. The Alcorn teams in the late 70s, team that played Stanford in 99, any of the Jackson State teams, the one that went to the NCAA tournament with Trey Johnson. The Valley teams that went to the NCAA tournament was 3 over there. All of them had strong Mississippi bases. The team that Sean Woods with didn't have a lot of them. He wasn't from Mississippi. He went out and got a bunch of JUCO renegades. Got to the NCAA tournament. But every team in Mississippi has almost. Mississippi State has always kept a strong base of Mississippi kids. They dominate the high major landscape in Mississippi. So that's what's so baffling is that the schools now they seem to the coaches we have now seem to over evaluate our kids. The kids they don't really want to. They looking at them with a weary eye. They for some reason they look out of state guys look better to them than in-state guys. I'm a diehard All-Four supporter. Our new coach Bussy, he's trying to figure the landscape out. But our last coach, it was hard to get him to recruit some Mississippi guys. He wanted to go to Georgia where he was from and recruit those guys. We had one assistant that was constantly pointing guys out to him. He finally just resigned and went on to another line of business because I think he got frustrated trying to get him to recruit our kids because he didn't look at our kids with the same eye that he looked up with other kids. I don't know what we can do about that, but our coaches need to recruit our kids. And every team in Mississippi that's been good has had a strong Mississippi base because these kids are playing for home. They value it more.
And that's just like if we look at it from last year, it's no way that Forte Prater had no, offers from any of the SWAC schools here. I
should have a Southern Miss offer.
Yeah, exactly. I just find that crazy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how that happened. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they probably think they saw something better out of state, but I just don't know how guys like they can slip through the cracks when you live, in the same state.
I'll say one thing, I'll speak for Jackson State because I kind of deal with them a little bit.
Yeah. And there's no knock.
They had in their defense, they had picked up. They got Wes Taylor from Olive Green.
Right.
So they didn't have a need for it.
Right.
Yeah. So sometimes it's a need based. Right. But you're right. They have to do a better job. The SWAC schools there's no way in the world Tyler Stevenson should have been going to Southern Miss as a walk-on and somebody from the SWAC doesn't offer him early. And that's the other thing we have to, and this is not just no indictment on the SWAC, but to me, college coaches have to do a better job of evaluating. And then they have to get out of the mindset, man, you're low D1, you're not Duke. Some of these kids can play for you, dog. I've had to tell coaches that for years. Mm-hmm. Who else is recruiting? I don't know if he can play, but hey man, you do know you Central Connecticut. Now why are you acting like you Connecticut? No, it's Central. There's Central in front of your name. You're not Connecticut. You're not Jim Calhoun. You know.
Yeah, and being on the AAU circuit, I had to what Shu said, over evaluating these Mississippi kids. Like you look at some kids like, that person going there, but I got the, and, me and you done had EV, we done had talked privately about some of these prospects, and it's just I just don't get it sometimes, And I know there's a whole nother segment we can go into 2 or 3 hours about.
I don't know, but you're right. I mean, sometimes you go see these people that, you know what I'm saying, you might see a video on, you be like, this who they be tweeting about all the time. This be on the video. You like, come on, man. They not even that good.
And sometimes, and here's the thing, this is why you get a kid like Derek Fountain. Let's talk real quickly. Derek Fountain. This is why I say, people are tripping on me when I say Jamie Mitchell can play at Mississippi State with a red shirt. Derek Fountain, when you looked at him last year, when he came down here in the Final Four, he looked soft, he looked weak. There was no way in the world. Didn't he walk on the Mississippi State shoes?
No, he was a scholarship kid. They just tended to redshirt him this year until the coronavirus rules came in.
But nobody thought he would come in as a freshman and have the year he had.
I did, because I seen it, you know what I'm saying? Like, he had changed. The first time I seen him was at Rodney Hood camp. I think that was in August of 2018 when I first moved back. I had said, well, he got potential, but you know what I'm saying, he wasn't really producing. And when I had seen him by the time the end of the season came, I think I seen him in January at the hotbed. He was like a totally different player. You know what I'm saying?
When he came down to state, I don't even know if he scored double figures. If he did, he didn't. Yeah. He didn't look good. I know that.
I feel what you're saying.
You said what, Shu?
He didn't have a good game at the semis last year, but I mean, I had him like top 4 in the state, and top 3 in the state. And I thought he could play at that level. I'm big on the natural raw talent of kids. And the kids talented. I knew he had the talent. He can handle. He can shoot. He was long. I knew he could. I knew he had the raw talent to play at that level. And it's a
but he did have an up and down kind of like, but you could see the talent there when he was locked in though.
Nah, but y'all also know he was young too, so he could still be in high school. So he was one of them guys that he was just playing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's young. He's young freshman probably.
He might have just turned 18 or something like that, but he was young though, so he was one of them guys that he could still be in high school.
Well, I tell you this, hats out to George Brooks. He's the Mississippi guy. He got that done, and he got a potential stud. In Fountain, he's down there. He's gotten on the weights and stuff like that. So, well, anyway, man, I know it's late, man. We got to get up in the morning. I just wanted to do our little late night again. We're gonna try to,
Hey, I got one for Shoes. Shoes, Coach Patrick has said. You owe him. He said he told you they will be here.
He said that this summer. He said he felt that this team had to make up to make it to the state, to make it to Jackson, possibly even play for the state championship. He said that this summer now, and I bought him into it because that's why I ranked him in the preseason. I bought in after I saw him all playing with Delta Heat, and with what he was saying, he said that. He really did. I got to give him the credit there. Now he saw that in his team. He saw it. He was adamant during the summer that he thought this team had this in him. I'm gonna give him that now. You're right about that.
Yeah,
I still really watch Chicago as far as he on the third side.
Yeah, he's done a great job, and he's a great human being. I really enjoyed talking to Coach Patrick. And so hats off to him. Happy for him and happy for all of them. And then, the teams that lost, Forest Hill, great year. Jerry Curry and Victor Evans have done a phenomenal job. Great coach. Like talking basketball with them. They are real knowledgeable coaches, and they've done, Jerry Curry get enough credit for what he's done in this, in this city with some of his kids. And he's a coach that loves the game. I mean, they're gonna practice. He gonna have them ready. I want to say hats off to all JPS coaches. A lot. This year I thought they did like under the circumstances with no fans and everything. Coach, God, I forgot his name. What's the coach of Jim Hill's name? Shoot.
Coach Lewis. Coach Lewis.
Lewis did a phenomenal job. Bo Clark obviously, is it has to be your coach of the year. Like definitely a coach of the year candidate in the city here in Jackson. Dave Sanders. Every time you get a bullseye on your back, like with Callaway, they live up to the hype. Let's just face it, they lost, but they live up to the hype. They were like, here's what the thing about it, they only lost one game this year. I know it was a shortened season, but they still only lost once. And that's the first loss they've had to a Mississippi school in 2 years. So that says a lot about Dave Sanders. Coach Gatlin Wingfield, he didn't have a great year this year, but we didn't have a show last year to talk about how great a job he did last year.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, and if the kid Ken doesn't transfer to Hillcrest, which I thought was a bad decision, in my opinion, that I'm not mad at him for doing it. Well, let me back up. Take that back. It was his decision. I'm not going to say bad or good, but it hurt Wingfield. I'll put it like that. I thought he would have been Wingfield would have won a few more games. So Jim Hill, great job. Lanier, Forest Hill, obviously, Callaway. I'm still gonna shout out my guy JJ Murr had a tough year. To be honest with you, because as you said earlier, Talante, you can argue they were probably the most disappointing team, but as far as on paper, but I not making any excuses. This was a COVID year, and this was a challenging year for everybody. So hats off to all of the coaches across the state. I was really impressed, and maybe we'll take some time and even talk about on our show some of the best coaches in the state that we know, and some rising coaches. I'm gonna do my Geekers top 30 after the season. I think what we talked about, and you guys can do yours or just critique mine, whichever one you want. I think we'll do our after. Now that I've seen more players and got a chance to see, we can do it and have a really good show. And so, hey man, tomorrow, who's tomorrow? Who we got tomorrow? 3 and 6A?
Yeah, you got the 6A guys. You got the big dogs coming tomorrow. So we already. I think those games are gonna be good as well. I know we already made our picks, but I think from the past 2 nights, the nighttime games have been the best games to me. And I don't know if it's because it's nighttime, but those have been the best games. So I expect the Bucks.
But both nights, the last game of the night has been the best game of the day.
Right.
the last game of the night has been the best game of the day both days.
And who is that? Is it Starkville Oak Grove tomorrow? That's the last game tomorrow.
I think so. I think it is.
Who does Clinton play tomorrow?
They got
Has the Central, baby. Has the Central.
Yeah. You know what, Shoes? You weren't on here the last time I said Shoes' #1 team has made, and we talked about it, Shoes. We said, remember, even when we was giving you grief, we said, Shoes, they made. It's all about getting hot at the right time. And matter of fact, K. Cole, I think, picked them to win it all.
But I will say this now. They started off that 0-3. They like 19-2 the rest of the season. They, that game against Callaway was an ugly loss. But they like 19-2 the rest. I think they like 19-5, something and 5. They something and 5. I'm not sure what the win is, 18 or something. They've been like 18-2 the rest of the season. So they've been pretty good. They've come around and played good ball and look pretty good. So right. I think they have the talent to beat Clinton. We don't know which Harrison Central going to show up tomorrow, but they have the talent to beat Clinton. But they are. So on the low, I guess low key, I'd be kind of happy they won it. Make me look good.
Oh yeah. Well, I know. I think Delonte picked Starkville. I picked Clinton, and so who did you pick? You?
I was
Huh?
I went with Starkville.
Kadarius, you went with Starkville, didn't
Yeah, I think I picked Starkville. Yeah.
Hey, I want to ask Kadarius. We got the 3A tomorrow. Kadarius, what? Give me you know anything about Senatobia?
Yeah, they got a young team, pretty good, scrappy team, not big at all. They got a player by the name of Jagger Young and another, I think, 23 kid, Khalil Washington. I think you need to watch them too.
you?
They're
As a
really
matter of
good.
fact, he picked them for Corey. I mean,
Yeah, I picked them to win it all. I'm just going
Mhm.
home, right down the street. I played in Northwest, so I'm used to the area. So
yeah.
I know you.
I
I
understand.
knew you
You
from up
got
that way. That's why I asked you what I asked you about.
yeah. You got to live there. I'm excited to see Rashad Bolden. Hadn't seen him all year. Uh, I think he's a kid that is one of the best players, obviously, in the state. And I
Who
just
they
look
got?
forward to
They got
seeing.
Boonville tomorrow.
Now,
They got
Boonville got
Senatobia
that's
football.
San Antonio tomorrow.
Oh, they got
St.
some.
Andrews tomorrow.
So I'm gonna be
Okay.
looking forward to Rashad to get his 30 tomorrow against Senatobia. Uh, because he gonna get 30, he gonna get anywhere. I gotta give him credit. Rashad Bolden, he's a senior. If he, when I saw Rashad as a freshman, and Garrison Wade led that team to a championship, and Rashad Bolden was the starting point guard. Uh, I didn't know, really to be honest, didn't think they would win another state championship. If they played Velma Jackson, you know, in a 7-game series, Velma Jackson would win. And he got it done, even though he fouled out. Um, he was the catalyst, to get them to that point. And so the fact that they, come in with a new coach and he's led them back to the big house, it's pretty impressive. And you're talking about if he wins this title, I know it's not the 6A, but it will be his third state championship. We have to, he's not Deshaun Russell, so we're not going to even go there. But as far as great careers, he would have to be in a conversation with somebody. I don't know what conversation.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
he was in the semis his sophomore year. They still got back to the semis his sophomore year. I think EV.
Yeah. So
yeah. And I don't look at the A stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to win a championship at any level. You know what I'm saying? Even at private school. So to win a championship, I don't discredit nobody from if it's in 1A or 6A. You know what I'm saying? It's the same to me. You know what I'm saying? You still got to win. And everybody, it's only one team that win every year. So it's pretty hard.
yeah, well, Starkville, Oak Grove tomorrow night. Daniel Green said, and I know Daniel, you said you want us to preview that 6A. At the end of the day, man, it's to me. Uh, I, and not to overlook Oak Grove, I think Coach Brumfield is a very good coach. They're scrappy. But if they beat Starkville, it would be an upset, in my opinion. That would be an upset. Uh, I think that would be more of an upset than Harrison Central upsetting Clinton. I think Harrison Central's talent is closer to Clinton's talent and size and all like that. But the Oak Grove would be an upset. And hey, it's their first time, I think, getting to the finals, Final Four. So why not do something special? And again, as we said, and Will Simon said till I sound like a broken record, we're happy for whoever wins. We just, you know, we just predict who we think at this point. And so be very interesting to see, Belmont girls play tomorrow. Be happy to go see them play tomorrow, Court. I know you know about them, and I'll be glad to go see your girl Macy Walker play, um, and some of the other kids, and see if anybody's going to be able to beat them. So anyway, it last geeks, guys, before we get off here.
Hey, I'm just gonna say, I hope we have I hope we have 4 more exciting nights like we've had these first two. Last two games have been some last two nights have been some great exciting games. A great kick off to like you said last night. It's a great kick off to March Madness. Yesterday was March 1st, and that shot was a great kick off to March Madness. And I hope this week continues to live up to it.
And I'm gonna hop in the same thing pretty much the shoes said. I know tomorrow's the last round for the semifinals, but I'm really interested to see who wins tomorrow, and I'm ready for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Guys, it was just like a couple months ago we was on here sitting like, are we gonna even have a season? And now we're at the end of the season, so time is moving fast, and you know what I'm saying, it was a blessing to get done with the season for the kids to actually have a chance to compete for the championship. So just good luck to everybody again tomorrow, and good luck to everybody as they go for the championship this weekend. And even the people who got put out, you know what I'm saying, just be glad you got a chance to actually finish your season. So it's a blessing to even be able to do that.
Yeah, I'm just piggyback off both of y'all. I mean, I'm just glad these seniors had a chance, to finish it out and see the finished product, because it was looking ugly and we had a lot of, uncertainty going on. But it wound up being a good year. I feel like it was a good year. Good basketball being played. Stars being born. Stars are leaving. So, congratulations to everybody. I hope everybody, fare well on, however the games go.
And I think they've said it all, and I'm excited. I got to get up in a few, because I get there at 9 in the morning. So I tell you, I know you got to get up for work. Shoes will get there probably around noon.
Yeah.
Whenever he ain't gonna, we ain't gonna even see shoes anymore. Like I ain't gonna even see shoes in the morning time. I'm gonna try to get there at 9, check them out, just see something.
Man, I had to go to work first thing in the morning, man.
Yeah, I know. You got to go to work. You only been at your job for like 30 years. You know what that's like. You got to show your face. When you got a job, like when you've been there that long, shoes. You ain't the owner, but you walk around like you walking around like so you ain't gonna you can sell that to somebody else. Yeah, you got to go to work. Okay, I say that sometimes too. I'm going to work too. But anyway, for Talante Weber, Cordarius Jones, Shoes Johnson, I'm Coach EV. Thanks for watching. Make sure you watch and subscribe, man. Appreciate all you guys, the fans, people who saying different things. And if you see me at the Coliseum, holler at us, man. We love to get to know you and see your face and all like that. And anything we can do to improve, let us know. Peace.